I have a story to tell today about one of my photography jobs I did. I actually have papers here because it was a lot of stuff that I went through. So I just wanted to share this with you guys to let you know what happened to me and just to help kind of guard yourself against things like this. All right, so I'm going to start out by saying in the summer of 2025 that this whole ordeal happened, and yes, it was an ordeal. So I was contacted. I'm not going to say their names. I'm going to call them Guy 1 and Guy 2 just to kind of protect their privacy. I was contacted by Guy 1 on, I think it was early August that I was contacted. This guy wanted me to take photos of a house that they were going to rent out. So it was basically going to be a real estate photography job. So I was like, absolutely. First red flag that I should have noticed was he wanted it done the next day. And being 15 at the time, I couldn't do it the next day because I couldn't just drive out to Altoona from Portage, Pennsylvania and take photos of this random house. So we figured out a time and date. It was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 days later. I went out. My mom drove me out to Altoona, and we went to this neighborhood to take pictures of the house. Anyway, before I get into the photography of the house, in the initial contacting and figuring out when and where and how much they were going to pay me to do this, I asked that they pay me $125 for the photos of this house. So they told me they could pay me via Venmo, Zelle, or card over phone. Now, of course, of those three things, I don't have any of those. So I asked if they could pay me via PayPal. And they said that would work. Crucial element of the story. All right. PayPal would work for them. That's what they said. So he asked for real estate portfolio examples. So I sent him some that are on my website and he liked them. And then he sent me pictures of two houses that were probably in Florida and definitely over probably $500,000. And they're like really nice houses. And he said he wanted the pictures to look like these, quote, camera angles, lens settings, etc. That's what he said, end quote. So the day before, I tried to confirm with Guy 1 if the next day still worked. He did not respond to me, so I contacted his associate, who he had left his number with me. So I contacted Guy 2 Thursday and did not get confirmation from him either. So the day of the pictures, I finally got confirmation from Guy 1 about 2 hours before I was due to take pictures. So we travel out to Altoona. It's about a 45-minute drive from my house to this house in Altoona that I'm supposed to take pictures of. I took the pictures. It took about 50 minutes, 50 minutes to an hour. The house, it was a rental house, you could tell. The house was actually still being inhabited. So there was someone living in there at the time. So whenever we got there, it was kind of a wreck. There was laundry on the couch and in the kitchen. The doors were hanging open, dishes everywhere. It was not a good photo-worthy scene, really. That's the gist of that. So anyway, I took the pictures to the best of my ability. I used the lens I'm using now. It's my EFM mount for my Canon M50, and it's the I'm looking at the lens now, 15 to 45 millimeter lens. So it's not a super wide angle lens like a 12 millimeter, but it still can see a whole room. So I took the pictures, and after we were done, I texted the guy and told him, guy one, and told him that I was done with taking the pictures, and he told me to send him the watermarked ones so he can, quote, get me paid, end quote. And then after I sent him the watermarked photos, he told me to transfer to guy number 2 and tell him my order number, which guy number 1 gave me, and also said that, quote, my payment will be taken care of today, end quote. Today being the day I took the pictures. So guy 2 told me to send him the non-watermarked ones. So I did via Google Drive, but I turned off the setting which allows them to be downloaded. So he told me after I sent him non-watermarked ones that he will, quote, review the final photos and will pay me, end quote. So he reviewed them apparently and told me they looked dark. The pictures looked too dark. So I told him I can go back into the editor and brighten them up a little bit. So I went back into Darktable, which is my editor, and increased their global brilliance. That's the setting on Darktable to increase the brightness. So after I sent him the brighter ones, he said, quote, the payment will be released shortly. This is wonderful. Took a day. Going to get paid $125. It was going to be worth it. Well, as the day goes on, I keep checking PayPal. Not getting paid. Not getting paid. Not getting paid. Finally, I get a text from guy 2 at 9 p.m. that night asking me if there was another way they could pay, because they said that PayPal wasn't working. I was like, okay, this is starting to get pretty sketchy. So I asked him why, like what was causing it not to work? Was it not working on their end, my end, or on PayPal's end? So I didn't get a reply, and I told guy 1 the next day that I hadn't been paid, and he told me the same line. PayPal wasn't working. So all of a sudden, he comes back and says the photos weren't up to his requirements. Never said that in the day before whenever I sent him the watermarked and unwatermarked ones, and he told me multiple times that I would get paid. So I sent guy 1 a direct link to a PayPal invoice I created for $125. And I told him I sent it to him and that he needed to pay me for the photos. All of a sudden, he said he needed approval from his client, because this was basically what it is a national real estate management company. So the guys I was talking to were based in California. I'm in Pennsylvania. So there's a pretty big lag time between the time zones. Anyway, I told him that I needed paid, and he said he was working on it. So after letting him work on it for a while, I told him straightforward, I said, I took the pictures yesterday, I gave them to you guys, and you told me yesterday that you could pay me shortly. I have everything you and your colleagues have said documented, and if I don't get paid by the end of the day today, I will be filing a complaint with you against the U.S. Department of Labor that I was not paid. So I told him that since it was Friday, he had until Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to pay me or I was going to file the complaint. So Friday goes, Saturday comes and goes, Sunday comes and goes, still haven't gotten paid. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to spend a bunch of time filing this complaint. So the next day, Monday, I wake up, I look, still no payment. I'm like, oh, now really? Is this how it's going to go? So finally, I texted him again. I was like, I'm still waiting for my payment. And he said nothing, actually. He didn't say anything. I just see a notification from PayPal that I was paid $125. So the moral of the story is, make sure you are tough with whoever you're dealing with, especially whenever, make sure they understand how much you want paid and when you want paid by. And make sure if you start spotting red flags, just don't take the job. It's not worth the hassle. I got told 6 times that I would be paid before I got paid. And when I did get paid, it was like 4 or 5 days after they said I was going to get paid. So I'm going to do another video talking about the lessons I learned from this job. And I hope you guys will watch it. Once I make it, I'll put a link in the description of this video for it. Hope you enjoyed the story, and stay alert for red flags in clients. So thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and whatever else. And have a great day. Have a great week. Thanks for watching.